Alright, what is up, you guys? So, welcome back to a new video. It's your boy GT here. So, today I want to talk about the new skate game. The one that's coming up pretty soon, I think next year, but I'm not sure. They haven't set a release date. But the reason why I want to talk about it, I'm going to keep it a brick. I'm a little worried about it. And to put in a little context, I am a huge skate fan. Skate 3 being one of my all-time favorite games, and if you've seen some of my videos, they have been the gameplay of some of them. And growing up, I played the OG skate game that came out back in 2007. Yes, I know, Unk status. So, it's fair to say I know a thing or two about the skate games. And this is something that doesn't just go for skate games. It also goes for Tony Hawk games. I played Tony Hawk games for pretty much most of my life. Like Tony Hawk 3, 4, Underground, and Underground 2 are some of my favorite games of all time. So, again, I know a thing or two about, the skateboarding games. And the new skate game, this was set, years in the making. Like, the hype up trailers, started as soon as 2020. And this is supposed to be one of the biggest releases in sport video games, ever. And after seeing the game in development for the last several years, and I think it was back last year or 2 years ago, they announced that this would be a free-to-play game. And I know what you're thinking. This is a free-to-play game. This is a skate game. This has been a game a decade and a half in the making. What is the complaint here? I think the biggest issue with most, if not all, free games, and including some paid games too, is microtransactions. Also, another thing with microtransactions is, without that, you really don't have 100% of the game. Like, a perfect example, Call of Duty and NBA 2K. You pay $60, $70, and yet they encouraged you to pay more money on top of that for microtransactions. And of course, that is just a super, super money hungry thing to do. And there's some outliers to it. For example, Fortnite, but again, it is a free to play game. The problem I have with Skate is it's not like that. It's like back in 2010 when Skate 3 came out, that was not the case at all. Yeah, they had some downloadable content, but they never had ads anywhere, basically forcing the player to buy it. And the sad thing is, the kids are just going to whip out mommy and daddy's credit cards just to buy it. And honestly, that's what gaming has turned into these last several years. A free and or paid games coming in with a bunch of DLC skins and all that other stuff. And look, I'm no hypocrite. I've done stuff like that before. But however, I haven't dropped hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it. Also, another big problem I have is that it's most likely going to be exclusively online. A big reason why I see that as a problem is because whenever I'm trying to skate solo, I don't want a 12-year-old kid following me around just like a sad lost puppy. And two, considering that it's going to be most likely all online, you never know what the status of the servers could be. They could be down for days or weeks at a time. And also another massive issue I have is the lack of story mode. I remember back in Skate 3 where you had to follow a certain story and you had to progress it in order to, unlock skateboarders or clothes or decks or any of that stuff. And all of that is most likely gone. I want to play a game with something I can follow, something I can replay over and over again, and something I can just genuinely have fun playing. Not a free-to-play game, which I'll probably be done, which is the same thing over and over again, which I'll most likely be done playing in a couple weeks. Instead of EA giving us what we really want in a new skate game, which includes a new story mode, the return of our favorite skaters such as Chris Cole, Jason Dill, Chris Haslam and Rob Dyrdek and everyone else, we got this. Basically, a lifestyle simulator which is disguised as a skateboarding game. And them saying, hey, like, if all that worked for games such as Fortnite and Rocket League, why not have it on Skate? And with that, with EA trying to turn Skate into like every other free-to-play game, it also lost us creativity too. It lost what made Skate skate. And going back to the servers, let's say the servers are down. I find comfort in knowing I have one of my 3 old Xboxes, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One, or 360. I can just pop in Skate 3 and I can just play it on there offline without any problems. And circling back to the other like gameplay stuff too, you had the film challenges, the photo challenges, you had street contests, you even had the Hall of Meat, no Diddy. And again, those were the biggest reasons why, the Skate series was the Skate series, and why Skate was such a good replacement for the Tony Hawk series after it phased into irrelevancy. It has been a decade and a half since Skate 3 came out, and this feels like a massive step backwards. Just to feel like a massive cash grab, and it's safe to say that EA is way out of touch. But all I can say is, I really hope they prove me wrong.